Now, with the possible escalation of that attack, the civilians in Israel are being evacuated to safer areas. India Today's Gaurav Sawant gets us this report from the southern coast of Israel.
The Zikkim Beach area of South Israel. You have the army now deployed here in numbers. Earlier, this was the route that was used by the terrorists to infiltrate. Hamas terrorists had used this route when they infiltrated from air, land and sea. So this was the sea route of that infiltration. This is the southernmost tip of southern Israel. This entire area, whether it's Ashkelon, Zikkim or Sderot, remains extremely vulnerable even now. So while people are talking about evacuation of a large number of people, 1.1 million people from the Gaza Strip, especially from North Gaza and Gaza City, these cities and towns are also being vacated, whether it's Sderot or Ashkelon or areas around the Zikkim beach. Just look around, a very picturesque beach on the Mediterranean Sea. Usually you'd have thousands of people here, but not a soul in sight. In fact, the police and the army now deployed here, and the army is asking even the Aaj Tak and India Today team, asking me to leave from here because it's not safe to be here at the Zikkim beach for the simple reason the area remains extremely vulnerable. So while you have the Navy that's patrolling this, you have the army that's deployed here, you also have the coastal batteries that are constantly deployed here to ensure that this area does not remain vulnerable to infiltration by Hamas terrorists. But the threat remains. There were attempts made to infiltrate in Zikkim beach even after the 7th of October, and that is why the army here is asking us to leave this place immediately. Clear and present danger. As thousands and thousands evacuate North Gaza, there are thousands who are also evacuating Sderot, Ashkelon and areas around the Zikkim beach. An area that remains extremely vulnerable to Hamas infiltration on ground and rocket attacks on top. Both continue in numbers here. An attempt to find peace, but preparation very clearly for war. Just look around me, where you'd see thousands of tourists, not a soul in sight. This clearly is now war zone Israel, a war that Israel is preparing for, and it's an asymmetric war with Hamas using terror means to infiltrate against perhaps one of the most developed armies of the world. Gaurav Sawant, between Zikkim beach and Ashkelon in southern Israel for India Today.
As the war escalates, remember, rocket sirens are constantly heard, sometimes through the night in Israeli cities. India Today continues to get you the latest. Watch this report by Gaurav Sawant. What happens when a siren is heard when you're in your house, in your residence, in a hotel?
Okay, हम लोग इस समय यहाँ से भागकर जा रहे हैं. We are running away to safety because the rocket alert has been sounded. Watch around. Be careful. Oops. So we were here to do an interview, but suddenly there's a rocket alert and we have come to safety.